Nothing good is born from lies. And greatness is not what you think.
Do you have a film from 1984 that is your favorite?
Ghostbusters.
Really? Why? I love that.
I don't know. It was funny and scary. Watching this as a child, right? It was funny and it scared me to a healthy extent, but not too much. And it was just fresh. Like when I watched it as a little girl, it was fresh.
Is there something, because I know you didn't grow up in the 80s, but had you really grown up in the 80s, is there something maybe like you learned through this film that you think you would have been completely obsessed with?
Maybe the shoulder pads, like fashion-wise. Exactly.
I got them going on. I heard, and I don't know if this is true, that the first time you watched this Wonder Woman 1984 that you cried, that you got very emotional. What was it about it that made you so emotional? Because I know we all cry when we watch it, but what made you emotional?
First of all, to see the finished work, we put so much labor into it, and see everything coming together. It got me moved. But I gotta say that the first 10 minutes of the movie, where it's not me playing, it's Lily Aspel, young Diana, and the Amazon games really moved me. And I'm all over the movie, and I'm super involved from the get-go. I knew what we were doing. I was there. But all of a sudden, watching the Olympic Games, but I wasn't Gal watching it. It was the 10-year-old girl watching another 10-year-old doing the most amazing things that I, as a person, never got to witness.
Yeah.
And it got me really moved.
What do you think? I know this has been a really hard year for so many people, and so many people just look to you as this beacon. What do you hope for 2021, assuming and hoping that we can all be healthy and move forward? What is your biggest wish?
Honestly, that's my wish. If anything, the most important thing is that we have our health and happiness, and it's everything, and everything on top of it is just, is just an extra. It's just a gift.
Have you ever been in love?
A long, long time ago. You?
So many times. Yeah, all the time.
So my first question to you is, do you have a favorite movie from 1984 that was released in 1984? And if you don't know, I've got a whole plethora of suggestions.
Oh, I do.
Okay, go.
I would say it's a toss-up between Beverly Hills Cop, 16 Candles, and Purple Rain.
Wow. You've done your homework. I thought you were going to say Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Right. Okay, sticking with the 80s theme. I know you were a child of the 80s. Do you have something that you owned in the 80s, or something that you wanted to have or thought was really cool that you definitely think needs to make a comeback?
I think parachute pants make a lot of sense because they're kind of like the futuristic cargo pant.
Yes.
Because if you just make a cargo pant of like tight, shiny material, but you have like tons of pockets and zippers that don't have pockets.
Right.
I feel like that would make a lot of sense in these times.
So I read, and I hope this is correct, that you said that playing this character was like playing 4 different roles, because there's like 4 very distinct versions of this character. So of the 4, which one was the hardest to sort of get, and which one was the most fun?
Well, definitely Cheetah towards the end of the movie was the most fun, because she's so bad, and I've never to do stuff like that. And the costume and the makeup and everything, it was just like, it was like the whole dream to be Cheetah. And weirdly, I think playing her in the very beginning was almost more challenging, because I didn't want to make her like sketchy comedic, but she had to be funny and sad, and had a lot of talks with Patty about how to like find that balance with her in the beginning.
It was amazing. It was truly amazing. An amazing role. And it was one of the lines that I love from the movie was, I'm going to read it so I don't get it wrong. You don't know what you're learning till you come out the other side. So now that you're on the other side of this film and you finished it, what is something that you learned that is most useful to you in your life?
The feeling that I had after I completed the movie, I hadn't seen any footage or anything, I was so scared to play this part. And I was nervous about all the physical stuff I knew I had to do. And just, there's so many fans out there of the DC world and Wonder Woman. And I wanted to like do a good job. And I was nervous in the beginning, just to be like totally honest. And then when I did the role and I felt like I did the best I could, and it was a really long shoot, I kind of felt like, oh, when things scare you and then you try to do it, it's such a good feeling, no matter how it turns out. Like if you're, yeah.
Do you have a wish for 2021, assuming and given that we all sort of can get a little bit back to normal?
Yeah, I hope it's just nothing like 2020. And I just hope that we all are kind to each other.
Welcome to the future. Life is good, but it can be better. And why shouldn't it be? All you need is to want it.
Do you have a movie from '84 that is your favorite?
Super hard to choose. Maybe Beverly Hills Cop.
That's a good one. You could do like a remake of it.
I could do a remake of it. I'll play the banana in the tailpipe.
I so thought you were going to say The Breakfast Club, but I think that was '85, wasn't it?
It was '85. 16 Candles was '84.
There you go. That was it. Well, I wanted to ask.
Purple Rain.
We could break into song here.
If I start singing, that would be punishing.
Was there any character that did sort of like seep into your consciousness when you were playing Max Lord, or some sort of an inspiration?
I came to it with the preconception that it would definitely be built on very, very specific references from the 80s. I started talking to Patty Jenkins at the start about Gordon Gekko, and wanting to kind of like, ooh, yeah, have that kind of calculated cool. And she was like, no, man, this guy doesn't have that kind of polish, and it's no surprise. Everything that she does has kind of an uncompromising honesty to it. There's such a wholeness to all of the characters and all of the performances. And the first Wonder Woman movie, I have to say, it's probably one of the first times I ever had like a really, really emotional reaction to an action sequence,
Same, cried throughout this too.
Well, man, it's so did I.
Did you?
So did I, yeah.
Did you
and I
ugly cry?
get taken out of, sorry?
Did you ugly cry?
I did. I ugly cried. And Kristen Wiig and Chris Pine are witnesses, because we saw it, together safely. Finally, we had a chance. And, with the context of everything that we've all been through, but also the experience that we all had making the movie, which was a really, really beautiful one. And the message in the movie, and also just the nostalgia of experiencing entertainment like that. It's just so much delight, I felt like I was 9 years old going to see Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
And that really made me ugly cry in front of them.
Assuming we all get back to a little bit more of a normal life in 2021, do you have a wish for 2021?
I do. I have a wish that we can all get together again without being afraid. Things be safe again, so that families can be together again, so that friends can get together, and I can go see some live music.
I can save today, but you can save the world.
Steve.
Diane.
Congratulations on Star Wars. You are a real-life female superhero. You are a trailblazer for women, and I know this is a personal story for you. So what are you most excited to bring to a galaxy far, far away?
Something very similar, which is like, I think it's very important to always not only aim to make a great film for whatever franchise or medium you're aiming for, but also to have a deep connection for why you're the right director for it. This is just such a special connection for me to get to make a film about this and also make a Star Wars film, which I've always loved. And so, I just hope to do this. I hope to do something totally different than what I did here, but with the same equation. Try to make a great film that you really, really believe in, and also bring something to the world with it that is personal that you're the right person to do, and you know, all of those things. But I'm so excited.
We're all so excited. Even just your announcement, you always make us cry. Even your announcement made me cry. I cried. Something about Wonder Woman makes me weep. And it's not tears of sadness or joy. It's just emotional. And Pedro and Kristen said that you are very specific in your messages when you work with actors. It's more about the message and what you're trying to get across. So what was the most important message for you with this specific movie, with 1984?
I think it's honestly, I loved that Wonder Woman has her own struggles and all of the villains have their own struggles. And when you're making a superhero movie, what's so important is to model what it is to be a hero. In the very beginning of the movie, Wonder Woman's mother says to her, you know, it's not what you think. You know, it isn't, being a hero is not simple. It's not just might or speed or winning. It's more complex than that. Through the course of this movie, I think we really experience that it is, that being a hero is being brave and being willing to see the truth and being willing to make difficult choices. And so I love that Wonder Woman is such an accessible superhero that we can do that with her. And hopefully that teaches a lesson to a little kid who faces that challenge themselves and knows that it's not easy to do something, but has to believe in themselves. You know, all of and anybody that watches it, including me.
Yeah, I think, is there a reason you picked 84 rather than a different year in the 1980s? Was there a specific reason for that?
Yeah, 84 felt like the height to me. It felt like the height of the excess and the opulence and the fun, and the movies were incredible. And then, you know, the stock market started to go down and we started having more political problems in a more complex way as the 80s went on. So it was just like the quintessential 80s. And obviously, you know, it's so funny. Everybody asked me about the book, but I always joke. No, I was about it was about the album.
The last movie, No Man's Land, was sort of the quintessential scene where the character has this emotional moment that is the defining moment, I think, in the movie. What were you specific in wanting to have that moment again? Because I felt there was that moment, but was there a definite, like, this is going to be the No Man's Land scene for Wonder Woman 1984?
Yeah, that's what it was to me. A lot of people didn't realize that as we were doing it. I think her choosing to be a hero is what No Man's Land was all about. And so in this movie, we have a very similar moment where she has to make a decision, and it's a very different decision with a very different results. But I love that we go with her into her life as she makes a choice.